You are listening to the Climate Alarm Clock podcast. Still to come this week, Niall Hatch and Ricky Whelan of Birdwatch Ireland tell us about the yellowhammer. But now it's time to continue our Book of Leaves collaboration. So over we go to Cara Carney.
Hello guys, so this week I wanted to share a leaf about growing your own food. This can be a confusing place to start, or you might not where to go if you've tried something already and it's not really working out for you. In episode 25 of Book of Leaves, I talked to someone that I actually met through Extinction Rebellion, an activist called Sinead, who has been growing casually just for herself for about 7 years now. She's based in County Clare, and yeah, I just took out some tips on how to choose what to start growing and what can you do if you only have a small space to start growing in. However, if you want to check out the episode in full for more tips around soil and compost and seeds and saving seeds and lots of other tips we go into, I would recommend checking that out. And there are so many groups that you can access for tips on finding out how to figure out problems that you come up with when you're growing carrots in a bucket or what have you. And there's a lovely Facebook group on Facebook, obviously, called Be a Hero. But if you search on Facebook, Be a Hero or Grow It Yourself, any of these kind of groups about tips for growing your own food, they're lovely community support networks for answering the questions when you're wondering, why am I doing everything right but nothing is growing? Because sometimes it is a little bit more complicated than we think. But yeah, I think growing your own food is really important to increasing appreciation of where our food comes from and therefore reducing the likelihood of wasting it as well. But anyway, here are some tips for you to grow your own food.
Something that I find what makes me decide which veg I'm going to grow in my garden is I have a fantastic organic grower that I buy my vegetables from, out of season or whatever. I'll buy from him some vegetables all year round, but what I tend to do is I grow the vegetables that he would use plastic for. So for example, he would put his kale and his salads inside plastic, because he has to keep them fresh. And those are the things I would choose, and also things that aren't so common. So like he'll have the spuds, he'll have the carrots, and I'll grow a few of those just for the taste, because it's nothing like the pleasure of growing your own. But he would be my main supplier. I wouldn't grow most of them, but whereas I would focus in on peas because they're quite expensive, and beans as well, because they're just beautiful and they grow really well. But it's really hard to buy Irish beans, so that's what I judge is what is hard to get, what is hard to get organically, or what normally comes in plastic, and I could avoid it. So that's, but everyone's different.
That's a very good place to start. And is there anything that you can kind of grow all year round?
Yeah, so radishes are really easy to grow outdoors. They're really fun for kids, even though they might not always eat them, but they're so much fun because they're so colorful, and you can eat the leaves and you can eat the radish, and they're really lovely and fresh and crispy and juicy. They have a very long growing season for outdoors. Now, a lot of people, if you start to get serious and you discover you got the green fingers, you might get a polytunnel. And that way you could produce food all year round, like lettuces, or a good one to grow actually at the moment. I have purple sprouting broccoli seeds.
What can someone with just a windowsill grow? Are there any tiny little kind of greens or anything that you can grow on just a windowsill in little pots?
Yeah, I think herbs are very giving. I would probably grow herbs if I couldn't grow anything else. Try a few, like a bit of rosemary, a bit of thyme. Like radishes would be great. Like, radishes grow really well. Like, so that would be something. Yeah, radishes and herbs. Maybe even a few salads. If you have a lot of light, you might have luck with salads. It's worth a try.
There you go. You can listen to that episode in full. It's episode 25 of Book of Leaves. And yeah, let's get growing.
Thank you so much, Cara, and thanks to you and all your guests for all your contributions this season. If you like the tips and advice and just the energy that Cara brings to her feature on our podcast, then do make sure to check out her own podcast, The Book of Leaves. Coming up next on the Climate Alarm Clock this week, we continue our Birdwatch Ireland collaboration.